Okay, so hear me out. Modern Alex rims, whatever, they're flat black rims and hub wheels. They got a little silver showing, brake rub. I rounded and trued these. These are totally good to go. The bearings feel great. Got a barely used a Sarah over derailleur. It's got silver and black. Got this FSA Vero. It's gloss black. I guess the outer thing's a little more semi-flat. So for a 1x mega range, 42 tooth, 1134 8-speed cassette. You know, it's not the best, but it's still going to get most of the little hills around town without struggling too much. And then maybe I'll keep the silver seat post. I doubt I have a black one the right size. Keep the silver headset, maybe go black or silver in the stem, depending on what I got. I definitely have black and silver cruiser bars. So we can keep the silver and black theme going. I like these cranks. They're 165s. I like that's a tiny bike. 42 tooth's pretty nice. Make it a little bit more modern. If these guys are more gloss black, I would be sold already. Got some nice tires in 728. I might put on here. I might see if I have anything cheaper and bigger. I got those 735 Vittoria Randonneurs that I was going to use on the Specialized Expedition. I do hate those tires, but I don't have anything better for it. And I'm going to have to play with the brakes. I think I have black and silver, sort of medium reach Tektros. I better do that before I make this decision. So this is one option. FSA Vero, and it's got the silver in it, the more modern silver. This has some silver in it. It all kind of works. It's got kind of white logos. It says white logos. I think it kind of works. Black grips, black seat. Probably all black tires, maybe with white logos. This fork is really tight though. I'm gonna have to take this fork to the alignment, park alignment tool, and align it. Also, this thing has nutted brakes, and I'm pretty sure all the more modern brakes have, unless I have to use really big, long Tektros, which I do have, and might be able to use on here. I do have those in nutted, I think. Another option I have is these all silver rims. They got silver, modern, kind of high gloss hubs. They're off like a 2000 something Specialized road bike. Same Alex rims, and they're in kind of a flatter silver, so it kind of actually ties in the derailleur and some of the other silvers in this bike better. I do have this crank. It's a 170, so that's fine. That's what this bike came with. 165 would be better. But it's got like a 46 tooth steel ring, which also might be an 1/8 of an inch. Alright, so I might change that ring. If I want to use this stock bash guard, we couldn't go too much smaller. This is a 130. I did just get that 130 by 39 bash guard in black. I might tie it together a little bit with the black of the derailleur, the black of the shifter. Modern silver. Modern silver is the way to go. And these are the parts I wanted to use on the Paramount, so I'll get rid of them. And I also kind of want to use these on this RB2 I got for myself. But I do have another set of these exact same wheels. I think they're in a little better shape. This one's got like, it's not perfectly round. It's within its spec, but it's like, it looks like a million miles to my eyes. So I do have a nicer set, so I can do that. It's got some 32s on it. It'd be perfect for this bike. Wish they weren't across town. All my tires in the storage units, we're going to have to go dig those out to figure out what we want, what we're going to use. Oh, lordy, I got stuff all over the place. Let's do this, and let's swap out this bash guard and chain ring. And also pull these off the beams. I'm also going to do a cool cable stop trick on this. This has a stock clamp on double cable stops. This clamps on, 2 cable stops can stop in. There's a much more common and less desirable bottom bracket one, which has 1 cable stop and 1 guide. So this one's already had the guide cut off. So I'm going to put the Suntour one upside down up here to replace this double, and just have to be a 1x. That's if I have the cable come on this. Yeah, I can't do crisscross applesauce on this because of these top 2 guides. So it's got to come to this side. So we can do it, man. And then I have an extra one of these, which just go for 15 to 35 bucks. Well, these go for like 5 to 10 bucks. And this one's already cut. Silva brakes. Let's just play with some brakes, just real quick. See if I even have something that'll work. So here's some old Tektro 356s. Let's see if it's even close. Whew. Close, yes, that close, fucking barely. At the very bottom of the pad, maybe. We get the little half spacer in there, and I don't know, I think these guys are going to be just too short. Story of my fucking life. Let's try on the front too before I go too cray-cray. Well, the front looks a lot closer, okay. Let's do a test fit. I'm going to put the wheel all the way forward. I went and got some of the old little half rounds to go around this round tube. And I got an old nut. Because this is one trick you can do. You put the front on the rear. It's longer. And so it'll usually go through the tube. And you can just use these half rounds in the nut off the old vintagey nutted brakes. And then for the front, we'll have to drill the backside of the fork crown and get a long recessed nut. That's all very normal stuff. It's just making the front the rear and the rear the front. This looks good, man. I mean, it's got a lot of pivot because there's no spacer in there. I'm going to grab the brakes a couple times, the wheel's going to pull it forward, it's going to pull it all the way down. So you can kind of get it all the way down and then tighten it up. And that's probably not going to go anywhere from there. This has tons of room. The front looked even better than the back. I think these brakes are going to work. I got these from Sunday salvage sale. They cost me nothing. This wheels came on a bike I paid 40 bucks for. I got 65 for the cranks. I donated the frame. Probably got 40 for the shifters. You know, I sold the other parts. So basically free. Salvage sales, a couple bucks. Hoo. Next, I'm going to see if I can find a better ring and bash guard for these cranks. Alright, so I got this little 39 tooth bash guard by 130 from Bike Farm Sunday for $1. I got this ring I got from the CCC, so probably 25 cents, 39 tooth. Modern 9-speed, like no wear. It's perfect for 8-speed. This will look pretty good. And a little flat black kind of goes with the little black accents. Still keeps it kind of silver, kind of modern. I got a brand new in the box 1134 mega range cassette. It'll work perfect with Cicera. Boom, it's all chrome. And a brand new 8-speedy chain from the last swap meet, I think. Bought a whole bunch of chains and cassettes and grips and stuff from an old bike shop when I was business for less than wholesale. So cheap. This cutie is coming along. Gotta figure out what bottom bracket it's gonna take. Seems quite a bit deeper than those other cranks. God, who knows? I'm gonna guesstimate and say something really wide. Although it looks like if I put something crazy short, like a 107, it would be totally fine. You know, I hold up and guesstimate so much, I might press this onto, just like by hand, onto a spindle and sort of hold it up and see. Still gotta deal with this fork and this headset. Gotta find some brake pads. I know I got all those new pads. Okay, so I just didn't film any of that. I cleaned the bottom bracket, put it back in, measured this thing, it looked about right. It's like a 118. Put these cranks on. They really do measure right about 43 millimeters. It's probably about where you want it on a modern single speed or 1x, which this will be. I got this dude swapped out for the single arm one. Pulled this fork out. This headset has not been serviced in forever, but it's not dead. A little cleaning, a little greasing, it'll be golden. The fork was definitely spaced at 90 instead of 100. So I put it in my fork gauge and bent it out till it's evenly 100 and put the alignment tools on and aligned this dude. I've shown that in other videos, no one cares. Most people don't have a tool, it's kind of rare as hell. So I didn't show it. I'm gonna clean this headset, get it back in. It's probably too late today. I'm gonna head to the dog park in like 20 minutes. Maybe I can get the headset cleaned and in. But maybe tomorrow I'll go to my storage unit and find a nice set of tires. I'm gonna put the biggest tires I have. They'll look cool on here. I definitely have a couple sets of 28s. I definitely have those new 35 millimeter Vittoria Randoneur cheap tires I got from Bike Farm for 22 bucks for the pair, donated from Gladys Bikes. This thing would probably fit 35s. I should probably stick my dumb tool on it. 35s and fenders. Definitely do 32s and easy fender clearance. But this guy's getting all sporty and hybridy and fun. Overhauled the headset, got to tighten it back on. Did my little signature move where I put a black spacer in there. I like to go silver, black, silver, or whatever, you know, just to give it that sort of modern-y look. Found a brake lever I might like. It's got an adjuster right here, so you can adjust the reach. You can start it here, here, here. It's a little black and silver, so it's a little modern, a little retro. Scout! Every time I start talking, my dog starts barking. I also gave Scout a horrendous little haircut. Did a lot of snipping, did a little shaving. Did a little evening. Need some work. I'm gonna stop barking now. I found a 8-speed Shimano trigger shifter I might be into. Doesn't really seem like it wants to party with this lever very well. It's silver. I think it's kind of cool. Kind of goes with the silver theme. Most of them are all black. Found this weird Bone Traeger bar, 540 millimeters wide, 50 millimeters wide. It's got a very swoopy, straight backy, kind of Nitto Rivendale-y vibe that I'm pretty into. Found this long 100 millimeter, you know, nothing special stem. And now it is time to do the front brake. As I mentioned before, the trick with recessed brakes into a non-recessed frame is to use the front on the rear and use the two little concave spacers and an old nut, and use the rear, which has a very short amount of threads, on the front. It's not long enough to go through, so what we do is we drill a hole here and run a long recessed nut. And I got recessed nuts in sizes and sizes and more sizes. What I don't have is the right size drill bit. The right size, the step up, the step down, missing everywhere. I need to buy a good drill bit set where I don't get mad and break bits and throw them away. Keep buying the Harbor Freight one, it's just junk. Like, there's this guy, and he does product test videos. He's not sponsored, so his fans give him money and he buys all the stuff. He's psychotic, he's amazing. He did one on drill bits a while ago, it was amazing, and it turns out like one of the best or second or third best ones he tested was like a $38 set from Milwaukee or whatever. I'm gonna rewatch that video. I'm gonna order those drill bits because I'm so sick of these $18 Harbor Freight ones that work like once. Now that being said, here's like the tapered one from Harbor Freight. It's a bunch of different sizes. It's a kit for like $7 or $8. A really fat one, this kind of skinnier one. I've had amazing luck with this. I've drilled like 20 holes through the frame of my truck with these. It still seems sharp and great. This step number 2 is one size too small. I'm going to do it, and worst case, we got to clean it with a file a little bit or go look for the right drill bit later. It's probably not even deep enough to get all the way through. This fork crown is so thick, this step down bit is definitely not going to reach all the way through. No! I was really hoping the right size bit would be on this drill. Lol. I don't know. It's pretty ugly because there's like no brass in there. And factory welded bikes are so bad. Almost goes through. I just need one size up. Oh, it's only a little bit too big. This one's like 2 sizes too big. But you know how things are. Maybe it's really only one size too big. I'd rather have it be a little too big and a little too tight. Well, we sure did it now. It's just a little bit loosey-goosey. Just a tiny bit's fine. Fine, I assume. So this sticks in like 2 threads of this washer on there. Maybe we don't need this washer on there. Now we can get maybe 3 or 4 threads. It is just too long by a couple of millimeters. Maybe one of these just a couple millimeters shorter. This one's just a couple of millimeters shorter. Goes in, doesn't dead end. The trick is there's all this thickness in here from the crown of the steer tube. You gotta make sure it goes all the way in without dead ending, hitting metal in here. You want to only grab these threads. Oh yeah, this is going to give me like 4 or 5 threads. And not dead end, it's exactly right. This is why I always save these recessed nuts whenever I find them in a junk pile. Whenever I throw an old breakaway, steal a barrel adjuster, steal that recessed nut. It's very valuable to have a million of these things in all different lengths. That should give me clearance. This should be hot. I'm gonna desperately want to use this little dude. There's no top tube. Yeah, it's gonna work. Sexy. This bike's getting pretty sexy. Just gonna do these cheap silicone Chinese grips. They have all the colors. Just gonna do real simple black on this bike. Push off a little mark. Know where the grip is. So where the brake lever's got to be. So where the shifter's got to be. It's in the bend a little bit. I think it'll probably be fine. Might tighten it down, put it on the floor, and play with it. But until then, let's road bike pads. Here's my bin of all my pads. Most of these are from the salvage sales. Here's a pair inserts. It's like some mountain pads. Shouldn't be in this bin. Here's a set of all Flora Black, brand new. Paid $2 for. So these are some brand new pads I got off the internet. And they came with no hardware. So I've been sort of stealing hardware off of dead pads. Put them on here. I still need one more set of the concave washer and bolts. Maybe one of my dead brakes has them on them. Here's a Tektro with a brand new set of pads that have the right hardware I need. That look almost identical to these ones. Just gonna use these instead and wait for the next tune-up as dead pads. They're still soft and stuff. They should be fine and stuff. But that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no! 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 My brand new in the box 8-speed cassette is missing a ring. Try and check for stuff like that. Well, while the camera's on, I've got these brake pads bolted on. They have to be all the way down, and they're a millimeter or two too low, so I got just a little bit of room to come up and hit the rims just right. I did get there's this cool tool. It clips over your chain ring, and this guy slides back to touch your cassette. With the wheel just in there, I clipped it on and slid it back, and it's right about in the middle of the cassette body. So, it's probably close enough. So that cassette was a bust. It's missing the smallest cog. Keep an eye out for one at the salvage sales or something. There's a little Shimano one that has no wear on it. Sometimes people just ride the middle of the cassette and never even touch the small gear. Usually people just ride the small gear and destroy them. So I went to my storage unit to get tires. I decided we're going to try and fit these Vittoria Randonneurs that I got all brand new with the tags for $22 for the pair. I don't particularly care about them or like them. They'll be fine on this. I'm medium sure it'll fit 735s. It had 27 1/4. It's basically a 32, but several millimeters bigger because the 27-inch rims are 4 millimeters taller. Medium sure they'll fit. Maybe I'll bust out my little tool and check. So then I went down to Tomcat. He sold a couple consignment bikes for me. I told him about this one. Probably give it to him. And asked him about cassettes, and he didn't have anything that I wanted. And he said to go over to this other friend of ours' shop. It's a really cool shop. If I had a shop by myself and with no rules, and the shop, you can't walk through the place. It's just bike parts just coming out of everywhere. The narrow hallway and 500 bikes everywhere. And then just a couple old guys in there fixing up old bikes and talking trash. It's a pretty fun time. Hung out for a while. They did not have any Mega Range cassettes, which I wanted, but he had a cheap Sunrace cassette. That's 1232. The Mega Range is like 1234. So I'm going to give up one tooth to get a good deal on a cassette and get this project going again and not wait forever and blah, 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 blah. So I got that, but that's not all I got. While I was at Tomcat's, just looking at some of his bikes. I saw a bike and I asked him about it. He's like, oh, that thing, make me an offer, get it out of here. I don't want to deal with it. I haven't spent so much money on it. I'm like, I know that feeling. And so I did. I was going to say 100. I asked him what he wanted for it. He said 100 to get it out of here. I said, I can't say no to that. So you want to see it? Oh, Snapper Dapper. So I think Tom said he thought it was about a 74 Mercian. Said that was a 54 centimeter, which... Oh man. This is like 52. 52. Either way, too small for me. It's got a terrible paint job. It's just flaking off everywhere down in the bare metal. But what got me all excited is it has the Campy Novo Tipo hubs, which are their high flange, less than record hubs. Aww. Yeah, I don't think these wheels are savable. Whatever, one of these hubs. They're scruffy, they're ugly. I think they look great on the 60 Allegro. I have the record hubs that came off it, but they're real chewed up and ugly, and they don't do anything for me, and I love these Novo Tipo hubs. So I grabbed them. They're on these 27-inch wheels, and I was like, maybe I'll ride them for a little while. Maybe. It's got Novo record brakes, cranks, derailleurs. That's some giant ass freewheel. I have a hard time believing this Novo record derailleur can even handle it, but it sure does. That's exciting. It's all real old and crusty. And said the chain rings are totally worn out. They have a little bit of wear. They don't really look that bad. It's probably 52, 42 Novo record. It's got the right crank bolts. It's got some cheapy modern pedals. It's got the clamp-on Novo record down tube shifters. Everything's a little crusty. But $100. It's got the Novo record seat post. Oh, it's 27 too. Bro, this is a nice frame. A little rusty and crusty. It's got a Novo record headset. It's a Mercian. I don't remember. Mercier is French. Mercian might be English. I mean, this has English headset. It's got a little Chinelli stem and some really old logo stem and bars. Stem and bars might be worth $35 a piece, maybe, or maybe they're bent and totally destroyed. It's got two of the Campy top tube clamps, but only two. He said he did check to see the seat post and stem weren't stuck, so hopefully they're not. I bet it's got a Campy bottom bracket. So, I don't know. Ooh, that crank is a 172.5. That's my minimum length. I really won't ride 170s or shorter anymore. So maybe I'll clean some of this stuff up. Maybe some of this will go on the old Allegro. I was really kind of worried about running the stock cranks on the Allegro. They're strong light. I've broken a lot of old French cranks, and they have a really big BCD and a weird small chainring bolt circle. And the small ring's a 45. I can't push that. This is a 42. I could one by this, put that inner ring on the outside with some single speed chainring bolts and do a 42, whatever this freewheel is. Not big enough. I don't know. I couldn't help it. I'm going to pull this bike all apart for parts. I might sell a couple of them to make my dough back. I mean, it's got a brand new set. The guy tried to sell it to him, but brand new Continental Gator Skin 27 1 1/4 tubes and tires, and some brand new bar tape. Sorry, managed to mangle. But yeah, I can probably sell, hopefully, the frame. And oh, that's right. He said this was not the correct fork. It was put on the bike before the repaint. And I don't know anything about it. It looks like it's the correct fork. Maybe found the right one. He said this is actually the original color paint, but it's bent somehow. So I might play with it and see how bent and if it's a big deal. It's twisted at the crown. Oh, this blade looks like a. Oh yeah, there's a dent here. Looks like it had a side impact and the blade's won't. So yeah, the fork's probably dead, but it's interesting. Someone, I don't know if this is the factory or somebody afterwards, decided to file just with a, looks like a cutoff wheel with a grinder, put a slot in the back of this fork. Why? I don't know. For the keyway, but it's way offset. I guess it doesn't really matter. And it's really bad. It's got them campy dropouts. So, got this new. I want to play with it. It's all dirty. It's so crusty. I need to pull it apart and clean it. See what's salvageable and what's not. And put it up for sale. Maybe I'll turn this frame into a fixed gear. It'd be fun. Make it real rusty and crusty. I want to turn everything into a fixed gear. The back hub's probably 120 spaced. And it's all clamp-on shifters and derailleurs and stuff, so making it into a fixed gear would be very, very easy. You don't really have to do anything. Just slap some track wheels in. It's long point, thin lugs. Like this is cool, man. If this was my size, I would definitely just start riding it as is. But it's a nice 531 bike. It's really nice lugs and the 27.2 seat post. Campy dropouts and stuff. Oh yeah, look how thin this stay is, man. This is some weird Frenchy tubes. That is pencil thin stays. Gorgeous. I do want to play with these wheels and see if they're savable, if I can ride them. Even though they're crappy old. I don't even know what kind of rims they are. They're not the normal old Weemans and stuff. Made in, oh, they're Weeman. Made in Belgium. Wiedemann, 27 1 1/4. Really skinny spokes. No tension. But I mean, $100. These tires retail for like, what, 45 a piece new? I mean, and they have never been ridden. They were put on to put it up for sale. I maybe went around the block once. But they still have like their full little mohawk and stuff. Like this brand new. But anyways, just want to show it off. It's neither here or there. We gotta get back to the little tiny Nishiki that could before I can get to this. Tear down and cleaning. I got like 3 bikes worth of parts to clean. I got 3 boxes worth of salvage score stuff to clean. And the weather's supposed to be nice next week. Maybe I'll just sit outside for 8 or 10 hours cleaning out there. At least it'll be well ventilated. I guess the first thing to do, and probably should have done this before I went and grabbed these 35mm tires, is to play with my tire fitty gauge. This gauge is from handrossman.com. I've showed pictures and links and stuff to it lots of times. It's pretty cool using a dummy axle. I got one here with like loose cones and nuts, so I can just sort of fit it from anything from 126 to 130, no problem. Dummy axle, the wheel's gonna be, probably see me do this. It's super cool. All these little round dudes are fake tire sizes. 38. I mean, these are 35s. Here's a 34. I don't know. I play with them both. So it's got 700, 650B, and 26. I'm going to plug the 38 into the 700. Pachamba. Hook this other end on the axle. And we're going to run up in here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That will just clear these brakes. No room for fenders. Just clear these stays. Just clear these stays. So tight. Tighter than I thought it'd be. Let's try the 34. These are narrow rims that might make them fit a little narrow. And this thing's got a little room for play. It's made for a frame builder dummy axle, so got a few extra millimeters. Either way, it'll fit no problem. The front's got more clearance than the back. Rossmann.com tire checker. I think he's $35 for these, and the new one are designed with, these have a little clip, so when you clip them in, they actually stick in until you yank them out. It's like a little automotive-y style plasticky clips that kind of interlock. And this isn't what they look like. This is just the protective cardboard over. They're like a Darylin plastic, so they're kind of a white, clear plastic. I just never took the cardboard off because I don't care. No duster burrs. Is there a direction arrow? Does it matter? The grand scheme of things, no. But in the grand scheme of, I want my bike to look pro, then yes. Found a nice, very lightly used tube in the right size. Off of something else. 28 to 38C, that's the right size. And a little bit of air in it, so it holds its shape and doesn't get all flat and pinched. Not too much. It's like impossible to get in and on. No whammy, no whammy. I always go around and pinch and look and make sure I can't see any tube. All I want to see is that red rim tape and silver of the rim and black of the tire, no tube popping out. What the heck PSI do I want to run a 38 at? I don't know, I'm going to say like 80. I did not hear the seat. I heard no pops like you want, but I'm going to go around the little line in the tire. I'm going to make sure it's pretty even all the way around on the rim. Make sure it's not sunk down, hidden under the rim, or a big bulge where it's not hooked on the bead at all. It looks great. It looks great. Man, these tires sure do look fat. Whew, so big. For the sake of proness, putting on all the little jimmer jammers. This one's got a big crack in it. I don't really care. Not very pro, I guess. Oh, one more thing before I throw it on. Cassette. Cheapo Sunrays. Probably fine. None of these looks. Oh, there's a skinny one. Hidden. Hidden. Where's my skinny dude? Skinny dude. Skinny dude. Tight. Threading it on. A lot of guys say really like that. Like 3 or 4 clicks and it's on. Doesn't seem like it's on tight, but boy, when you go try and take some of these cassettes off, they're almost impossible to get off. People are always over tightening them. Let's see if that's tight enough. Not tight enough. Man, I have too many tools on one peg. I'm gonna give it a couple of clicks. Probably tight enough. If you reef that thing down as tight as you can, it'll never come off. Cool. I probably am gonna change the skewers. This one's technically an older Shimano style. I like them with the little knurls and the real steel. And they actually tighten down. Any one's a little plastic crescent little washers in there will not stay tight enough for most bikes, keep the wheel on straight. They are junk. Vintage skewers or vintage style skewers. The way to be. Put that wheel in tight and have it not move, especially on a bike like this with horizontal dropouts. There's lots of room for these to move. They don't have little dropout adjusters. I might go find those old 70s style spacers that take up some space. Put them in. I usually put the wheel towards the front of the dropout, especially if a bike's gonna have fenders, because that way it only has to move forward a little bit before it can fall out. If you put it in the back or the middle and get the fender line right, there's no room. The wheel hits the fender when you're trying to slide it forward way before it can ever fall out of the bike. Who tight? Who doggy? 35s is clearly a terrible idea. The brake doesn't really open wide enough for them. You can always let the air out, but it takes all the fun out of it. It goes far enough forward to be able to hump it in. Hump it in. Oh, bud. Wow, it is really tight. Really more for a bike with cantilevers or whatnot. Probably should do 32s. Squeezy. Squeezy. Probably didn't help my skewers too tight. This is technically too tight. This is how the kids like the stuff now. Making sure there's no bulges in the tire or anything that's going to hit the stays. So it's tight. I only got like 3 or 4 millimeters of clearance into the brake. Minimal, but still legit amounts of the stays. If this thing breaks a spoke, it's definitely going to buzz or comes loose or is put in crooked. I got some Paselas and 28s I really should have used. That give clearance and leave room for fenders. But I want to put the fattest tires possible in. So I did. It'll be just fine. Unless this person wants fenders. Most shops sell garbage fenders anyways that clip on or don't fit too right. Or they can talk her into getting some skinnier tires. Sick! I'm gonna do the front and then I'll start the next video, hopefully be a lot shorter. We'll do pads, cables, housing, test ride, chain, all that fast, easy stuff, not all the hard figuring out stuff's done. So we're going to call it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, a day or 3, hopefully. I get this one off my phone so I can film that one and edit it.